Monica. This is Jason Yeh. Our guest today is Sandra O'Connor. Everyone, please welcome her. Hello, Sandra. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well. So I hear you were the very first female judge in the 191 years of court. So I have some questions for you, Sandra. Can you tell us some things about your childhood?
I was born in El Paso, Texas on August 26, 1930. My parents' names are Harry and Ida Day. They own a cattle ranch in southeastern Arizona called the Lazy Bee. When it just started, there was no electricity or running water. I grew up learning how to fix everything that was broken. My parents desperately wanted me to have an education. By age 4, I had already learned how to read. Whenever my parents were searching for schools that would match my abilities, they finally decided it would be best for them to send me to my grandma's house to live with her and attend school in El Paso. I attended Radford School for Girls in Austin High. I spent summer at my parents' house and school months at my grandma's house. I graduated high school very early at the age of 16.
So, what college did you go to?
In 1946, after competing against many other people, and despite the fact I might not be accepted because I am a woman, I was accepted to Stanford University. In a program which I finished 2 degrees in 6 years instead of 7, I graduated in 1950 with a bachelor's degree in economics and received a law degree in 1952. I graduated 3rd in all 102 of my class.
That's great. So tell us about how you started your career at a very early stage. And at the same time, how did you handle your family?
After graduating, I tried to get a job in Los Angeles and San Francisco law firms. But because of discrimination against women at that time, I couldn't be a lawyer. I was offered a position as a legal secretary, which didn't match my training and education. Instead, I took a position as a deputy county attorney in San Mateo, California. During this time, I married John J. O'Connor, who was one class behind me in Stanford. Whenever he finished law school, we moved to Germany, where John served as an attorney in the U.S. Army, and I worked as a civilian attorney specializing in contracts. As we returned to America, we settled into the Phoenix, Arizona area. Another lawyer and I opened a law office in suburban Maryvale, but for the next few years, I devoted most of my time to raising my 3 sons, Scott Hampton O'Connor, Jay O'Connor, and Brian O'Connor, who were born between 1957 and 1962. I also joined many groups to improve my community, and I began to take an active role in local Republican politics.
Tell us about how your career as a Supreme Court judge, and what was your most famous case?
During the last months of the 1980 campaign, candidate Ronald Reagan needed more support from female voters. He said that if he were elected, he would elect a woman to the Supreme Court. In July 1981, President Reagan kept his promise and nominated me. The Senate quickly confirmed me. I became the first female justice in the 191-year history of the court. When Reagan selected me for the Supreme Court, I became the first person appointed in 24 years with state court experience and the first in 32 years with lawmaking experience. As a Supreme Court justice, many people expected me to be solidly conservative in my decisions on the Supreme Court. In fact, many conservative politicians objected to my appointment. They thought I would not oppose abortion because I was a woman. Abortion is a key issue for Republican conservatives. However, many women support abortion rights or the right for a woman to choose. I made this issue somewhat confusing for the people who were studying me because I was not part of the organized women's movement which supports abortion. Although the moral majority complained that I was in favor of abortion and I had cast votes against as well as for it in the legislature. As a justice, I aligned myself with the opponents of abortion. Although I was not a strong supporter of the women's movement, I was a founder of both the Arizona Women Lawyers Association and the National Association of Women's Judges. I also had fought to remove discrimination against women from my state's bar rules and community property laws. As a justice, I was against discrimination based on gender. My most famous Supreme Court opinion was in the court case Mississippi University for Women v. Hogan in 1982. In this decision, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional for a state nursing school to refuse to admit men. With this decision, I displayed my ability to rule on equality issues for that affect men.
Well, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming.
It's my honor to be here.